My name is Ruckus, and I am 10-8. Hope everybody's got a cup of coffee. I talked to Noé this morning, former jailmate, Mr. Kegan Klines in the Miami County Jail. Hello, hello, hello. I don't look any better than I did last night, so if you were expecting that, you can forget about it. Jinx, Lisa, Mother of Dragons, Vanessa, Lakeside Justice, my man Rory, Yuck. Good morning. Let me get Noé on the phone. I'm sure if you guys have heard of Noé, he was the infamous DNR, another creator. He reached out to another creator and told him that he was Keegan's jailmate and the such. And so that's how he became known to all of us. I've since got to know him. He reached out to me, and we become quite friendly, as a matter of fact. He's a really nice guy. So let me bring him in here. And do me a favor, guys, too. Once I get him on, would you guys let me know that you could hear everything? I don't care if you can see me, but as long as you can hear him, that's what I'm worried about. Well, this is awkward. Well, we'll try that again.
Hello?
Hey, Noe, good morning. I'm sorry, did I catch you while you were walking in?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
of
what's
course.
going on.
Of course, dude. If there's an awkward situation, I'll be involved with it. You know, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're able to watch this stream or not. But looks like there's about 10 people here this morning. So that's cool. That's cool. Everybody wants to hear what you have to say, Noe, and I think that that's fantastic. All right, first things first. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Just sitting here drinking some coffee, doing the morning routine. I don't start work till 10 a.m., so I usually get up early, do things around here. I'm doing good, man. How are you doing? How's your shoulder?
Doing good. I mean, I stay pretty doped up, as you can imagine, but every day it gets better and better, Noe. I mean, I can't complain. It's amazing.
Well, that's great.
What they can do these days. It's amazing. Now, see here. Derek, I missed you. I'm just saying hello to some of the people that are out here. I know I sound like, do you remember that show Romper Room when we were kids? It's like this woman has a little crystal ball and she says good morning to all the children. And if she said your name, you went ape shit. You know, I see Noe and I see Ruckus. You'd be at home watching on TV and you go ape shit if she said your name. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. All right, if you would, Noe, when did you first meet Kegan Kline and where? Let's just take it from there, and then I'm going to let you talk.
Okay.
If I have any questions, I'll throw them at you, but I'll try my best not to interrupt you. I promise.
Oh, that's fine. No worries. Well, I met Kegan in early July. I can't pinpoint a day, but it was the first week of July. I was in Wabash County, and I was, let's see, I started in Wabash County on June 10th, so So a month later, let's say around July 10th, I got transferred to Miami County, and I met him. I arrived late. It was after 9 p.m. So they were on lockdown. So a guard just brought me into the block and assigned me a cell. And the next morning, the doors roll open at 6 a.m. for breakfast. Everybody just, comes out, they eat breakfast and typically go back in their cell and sleep all morning. So I think it was around 11 that later on that morning, around 11 a.m. when they do the lunch. That's when everybody gets up and hangs around in the day room. And after lunch, I was playing chess with this guy, and he asked me if I had heard about the Delphi case, and I said, well, I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. He's the one who told me that he said the person of interest is being housed there, right? And I said, well, who's that? And he pointed me at Kegan, and Kegan was about 3 tables down playing cards. And that was the first time that I knew about Kegan.
Okay, now was he he was in a cell near yours, or if you could, now I've worked in the prison system, I've worked in the jails, so I have a pretty good idea of what it looks like, dude. I can almost smell the smells as you're talking, to be honest with you. But if you could, if you could explain that they were closed cells, right? They had bars, and they would keep them locked down during lockdown hours and lights out, and then they'd roll them open in the morning, and you could come out and commune in the day room, right?
Right. Yeah, we were on the bottom tier, and he was two doors away. Our cells had doors that roll rather than the bars.
Okay.
A newer facility, and so I was 2 doors away from him. So when the doors roll open, they roll open the bottom tier first, and then everybody comes out, and then then they do the second tier, and whoever wants to come, they leave the doors open. They don't shut them back down. So all day, like from early in the morning at 5 a.m. They roll them open 5 a.m. to do meds.
Okay.
And then whoever does meds goes out, takes their meds, and then they come back in. And then at 6, they roll them out for everybody.
I got you.
So I was two cells away from him.
Okay. Now, did you used to get up early in the morning, or were you one of the guys that stayed up all night and then slept until noon?
No, when I used to get up early, and I started a routine. Every morning I would get up, and after breakfast, I would stay up and clean the day room. I would wipe the tables, sweep the floor, and mop it. And that was not a sign. It was just something I did to keep active. And then around 7 a.m., they would start the TV, turn the TV on. So everybody was back in bed, and I was there by myself, and I had control of the TV, so I would watch whatever I wanted. I don't watch movies. I don't like watching movies. I like watching sports and news. So
now, did they have the local news, Noe, on that TV, or just national news?
They had the Indianapolis channels and South Bend.
Okay. That's surprising, because when I worked at the local jail, they didn't play local news, just in case somebody like Kegan was in there, so nobody would know. Do you know what I mean? There was no breaking news, and you wouldn't know what that person did. But I understand.
They had it. They had the local news, and like They would put it on a channel because they had control of the remote. Okay, so I would the guard after the count, I would ask them to do the news.
Oh, okay.
And then if you wanted a different channel, then you had to wait for the guard to come in and change the channel. But all morning I just put it on local news.
Okay.
Or ESPN, and then just watch that, and I did my cleaning, and then I would just stay up, and
so you had the day room to yourself for a little bit every morning.
I had it myself, yes.
Nice.
Yes, and
nice.
I would do laps, work out, and watch news, drink coffee, draw, and then around 11, which they roll the doors a little before 11, like. I mean, I'm sorry. They do the chow a little before 11, so that's when everybody starts getting up and getting ready to eat lunch. Okay. So at that time, the day room would get populated there with people coming out and joining me. And that's basically what went on, every day in the morning.
Okay.
While I was there.
Now, when did you have time to talk with Keegan? The most time where it was just you and him, where you got to talk.
Yeah, well, Kegan used to be leaving the block. They would come and get them and take them. So, and
in the mornings they take him out of the jail. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were taking him, and then when he'd come back, he would stay up, and I was there. So that's how we started talking.
Now, so they just took him out of the unit, and then right back in. I mean, he didn't leave the facility or anything. He just left the block in the morning.
Well, many times he would just go out to get interviewed in the facility, and he'd be gone, let's say an hour or so. And then other times he would be gone all day. And this went on for almost a month, Okay. So the days that he would return early, still in the morning time, those were the times when I interacted with him.
I got you. With
no one around, and then when he left for the day, sometimes he wouldn't come back till after lockdown, so after 9, because Miami County does the lockdown at night at 9 p.m., which is early. A lot of other places or Wabash County does lockdown at 11.
Oh, okay.
That was a little different. So we'd lock down early. The TV goes off at 9. Everybody goes in their cell at 9, and then they did count around 10, the night count.
Okay.
So there was times when we would go back to lockdown, and Kegan wasn't back yet. And then the next morning, same routine. Get up, clean.
Now, just to preface this a little bit, Noé, you weren't initially at Miami County Jail. You were at Wabash County Jail, correct?
Yeah.
And they moved you there because of an issue that you had at the other jail, and they moved you into the protective custody unit. You didn't ask to be placed in protective custody, right?
No. In 2019, okay, I had issues in Wabash County. So last summer, when I got arrested again, and I went back in Wabash County, they automatically put me in SEG, yes,
okay,
protective custody, and in Wabash County. Okay. So when they transferred me they take a file. The transport officer who transports the inmates takes the file. So when I got to Miami County, the officer turned in the file, and that's how they know that I was in safety.
I got you. So they put you in administrative segregation, not for your safety, but just so there wasn't any problems because you were coming from another facility.
I guess I was a troublemaker.
Yeah, you don't seem to be a troublemaker, man. You seem to be nice.
The thing is that I just don't back up. You back down, and
right. I understand.
Wabash is a smaller jail. In 2019, they tried everything. I went through the whole jail, and there was always some kind of issue with me. I mean, I'm like, there's very few Hispanic people up here, and I mean, it just, everywhere I went in Wabash, I had issues, and whether it was like racial tension or past drug issues, and I was getting, just moved around they couldn't find a place to house me.
Right.
And they ended up segregating me and sending me to a different county. So when I went back in June of 22, they were like, well, we don't know what we're going to do with you. For now, we're going to put you in block C4, which in Wabash County, that's the protective custody. Yeah. Okay. So I was there a month, and then when I got transferred to Miami, that classification just followed me, and
I got you.
I ended up in DC, and Wabash didn't want to put. The thing is that, Wabash and Miami County, they exchange inmates all the time, either because they have pending cases.
Right.
So it is very normal to go to Miami County in general population, and half the block are from Wabash.
I got you.
So they didn't want to put me in general population because they determined that I would have issues.
Right.
So
right.
So Wabash County didn't want to be liable for any issues.
You're absolutely right. That's the only reason they do that.
Yeah, Wabash County requested this guy goes to safekeep.
Right.
And
now, how many?
I don't care.
How many guys were in that block, Noe? Once you got to Miami County, how many guys were actually in that cell block?
Okay, in 600 block, there was 4. It's a 4-man cell. There's 2 bunks on one side and 2 bunks on the other side. So it's a decent size. It's not your typical, 5 by 8 or whatever. This was more like a 10 by 12 cell.
And how many total were in there?
And there was 4 cells in the bottom. So 4 times 4 in the bottom, that would be 16 inmates in the bottom, and then in the top tier, same thing. There's 4 cells with 4 men cells, but there only kept two inmates per cell, so there was only about 13 inmates.
Okay.
Altogether, yeah.
All right.
Some cells, had 1 inmate, but typically they just kept two inmates per cell. The PC block in Miami County was not packed. No.
Okay. And I just have a couple specific questions for you. What was Kegan? I apologize. What was his general demeanor like? Generally, what was he like? Mm-hmm. Was he arrogant? Was he apprehensive? What?
Well, Kegan's not like I considered him just a soft, lazy guy. He was not, he's not a tough guy. His demeanor, I would describe him as um, follower type of guy,
Oh, okay.
soft spoken. He doesn't curse much, you know, and he when he talks, he's like he's got like a feminine voice type of, you know.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he was not no tough guy in there. He's just doing his time and soft,
Okay.
you know.
Now, did his
So
demeanor change at all when he left the block and when he returned to the block? Like when he was interviewed, interrogated, or what have you? Was his demeanor different? No, did he come back? A little bit.
One time he came back and he was worried because they had told him that the feds wanted to pick up his case, and he thought that was a bad thing.
Yeah,
and
duh.
I told him that, I mean, in terms of doing time, I've never been to federal prison, but I've had many friends who have, and I've heard that the conditions are a lot better. So I said that might be a good thing in terms of like doing time.
Yeah, there's always a bright side to everything.
Yeah.
But all right, now I know, and you can get.
That was like the first time. It was the first time I see him. Like I saw him be worried, like and scared about. Oh, the feds are picking it up. You know, he didn't quite understand.
Right. Now I don't want to. I want you to be able to tell your story the way you want to tell it, Noé. And you've always been really forthcoming and honest with me. So I don't want to lead you down a path. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, because I pretty much know what everybody wants to know. It's basically the same things that I did. The incident with Keegan's wristband. What happened with that?
Yeah. I had an inmate. I had a cellmate who I drew a caricature of, right? And everybody saw it and everybody thought it was funny. And then I had this book that had a picture of a girl, and I drew her from the thighs up into her face. I drew a topless image of that. It was on a book cover.
Okay.
They had a traveling library card, so we were allowed to on Saturdays to get books to read. So when I drew that image and showed it around, Kegan wanted that image, and we ended up putting his girlfriend's face on it, and that's, I asked him, hey man, do you want me to draw a cartoon of you? And he said, yeah, go for it. And so that's how I drew the cartoon. And I said, look, man, will you give me your bracelet if I draw that? And he agreed.
Why did you want a bracelet? What was that about?
Well, when I found out that he was in deeper shit than, well, the case was pretty big, and then he was on TV. By this time, he was on TV. I figured that I wanted to do a little bit of research myself upon him and try to find out what his involvement was, and I thought if I find out something that's crucial, perhaps I can report it to authorities, and his bracelet would be something that I can use as proof that I was locked up with him.
I got you.
How else would I have it? I was never thinking about money.
Right. No, I understand.
So I had an agenda, the art and all that, getting to interact with him. I had an agenda, and I wanted to find out about the case. And the only thing that stood out about the case to me at that time, we were talking about July of 22, was the initial reports in 2017 when the case happened, when the murders happened. I remember that one of the girls had a soccer jersey, and I had coached soccer in the past, and when I saw that little girl with the soccer jersey, I was, kind of hit home.
Sure.
I started thinking of all the girls that age that I had coached, right? But then I went on, and I never put attention to the case until I got there. So when I got there, I wanted to know more about the case, and I was there with Kegan. So I figured if I take his wristband, I can tell law enforcement, look, I'm not BSing around.
Right.
I interacted with him, and that was, I guess it may sound ridiculous, but that was my thought at the moment.
Okay. I have I just need to break in here for 1 second, Noe, because you
Sure.
and I have talked before and all that. And I just want to preface this. I've never seen wife Lilith in my, I know who she is. But she's in my chat, and she just wrote, Noe, I will call you this afternoon and explain why I couldn't talk to you anymore. Please be careful. Now, this is the person that changed her number, didn't want to speak to you. Has anybody told you that you can't talk? Are you under a gag order that you're aware of? Because you can say what you want. It's up to you. I'm not pressuring you on one way or the other. I just want to let you know that she commented. I wouldn't blindside you like that, Noe.
The way I see it is, I'm not going to talk about the case.
Right. Okay.
If you ask me anything about I can talk to you all I want about interaction in jail.
Right. Okay. Well, I just want to let you know. I don't want to blindside you, dude. You know I'm not like that.
Yeah. It was odd that, we had lengthy conversations, and then I went to visit Kegan, and he lashed out. He's like I said, he didn't badmouth me or anything, but he was upset about me talking to Holly, and I said, dude, don't you remember you telling me that she owns a coffee shop in Fort Wayne and she does open mics? And that's why I reached out to her,
Right. Yeah, because you do music, right? You play guitar and sing.
Yeah. We had talked about that, right? And Holly and I never had an issue.
Well, that's why I just wanted to let you know, because now apparently she wants to talk to you now.
Yeah. It was odd that she had. I don't know. She just stopped replying. So I've left it alone. I haven't reached out to her, and then I found out that number was no longer in service. So I don't have any other means of communicating. Like, her and I are not friends on social media.
Right. And just let me address her real quick. Holly, I'm not saying that you meant anything against me. I just want to make sure that he's aware. I would never blindside Noe like that. So I want to make him aware that you're here. But I also know through talking to him before that you weren't accepting his calls up until this point. That's all. No big deal. I have nothing against you, Holly. Don't know you at all.
Yeah, I have nothing against her. She's free to make her decisions, just like as we are, and I know that a lot of podcasts have, slander her. I have no reason to.
I don't either. Yeah, I won't slander anybody. That's not how I operate. But at the same time, we can talk about whatever we want, whatever you're comfortable with. She certainly does not dictate what people say on my podcast. And I don't mean that in a bad way. That's just it. All right, so let's get back. And I'm sorry that I interrupted you. Like I said, I just want to make that clear to you. I don't want any problems or any abrasiveness or anything like that. I just want to make sure that you knew what was going on. I didn't think you could watch what's going on here, so just want to tell you. Okay, so
I quit to ask about the gag order. That's why I specifically tell people. Well, I mean, I've talked to very few people. Like the Unsolved was the first one. Then I've talked with Crime to Sleep, and now I'm talking to you. But I've always made sure that make it clear that, you know, I'm gonna talk about my interaction with Kline while incarcerated with him.
right.
That has nothing to do with details about the investigation. Absolutely not. And furthermore, I'm not going to repeat anything that I discussed with law enforcement.
Yeah, and I wouldn't ask that. I'm prior law enforcement, so I understand how all that works. I wouldn't want to put you on the spot, Noe.
Yeah.
And that can happen. I wouldn't do it purposely, but I know enough about this stuff where I wouldn't do it by mistake either. And I know what to look for. And like I said, you're a good guy, and you've been pretty upfront. Now, when he left the block,
Mhm.
did he? Now, you said sometimes he went for the day.
Mhm.
Was that ever in succession? Like, did he go 2, 3 days, 4 days in a row, or was it just?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. There was a few times there where it was like he'd leave early, come back late, very late after lockdown,
Okay.
and yeah, and I want to say it went for a period about a week.
Okay. Now, do you know if that's during the time that they were searching the Wabash River? Or
Because of the TV
Okay.
news, it was right around the same time.
Okay. Yeah, but you don't know when he left there. You don't know where he went or what he did. But it was around the same time that they were searching the river. He was leaving every day.
Like one time, he told me that he was taken to Grissom to the infirmary at Grissom for the day.
Mm.
But he never told me, "Oh, I was at the Wabash River with the cops." No,
Right.
no. But we kind of put one and one together because right around that time there was reports on TV.
Sure. And that's exactly
there,
why I said I'm surprised they played local TV. Now, do you follow why I said that? Yeah, because of stuff like that.
And also, here's something else. Half of the people in that, or more than half of the inmates in 600 block were from Peru. So they're in constant communication with their wives, etc., their kids, and everybody was talking about that search. So all the inmates knew what was going on.
Sure.
So it's not that difficult to put one and one together, you know.
But, and just like us out here with this case, the inmates, there was a lot of speculation, too, because they didn't know exactly who was doing what. They just put 2 and 2 together, like you said.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the jailhouse rumors and the prison rumors and stuff like that. So I know how it goes. But all right, so he came and went. That's that really doesn't say too much. That's not putting you on the spot or anything like that.
No.
Did he? Now, you mentioned when we spoke before that every time he left the block, he would bring his legal paperwork up to the officer station before he left. Is that because it was 2-man cells? They didn't want his cellmate going through his paperwork.
Yeah, he had a cellmate, and typically when every day that he went out, he would take his personal property and come back. And up until the day they segregated him. When they segregated him, I was out with him. Actually, we was talking in the day room, and a guard came in and asked him to pack up his stuff, and he went on to grab the normal stuff, his folder. And the guard said, no, take everything. And that's the day, it was in August. That's the day when they removed him from 600 block.
Okay, so when they said roll it up, pack all your stuff, that was mattress, sheets, personal items, everything, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you guys know what that is. You've seen other people coming and going. You meant that he was leaving. He wasn't coming back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we thought that the feds were gonna transfer him. Some of us thought that because he had previously come in saying that the feds were picking up the case. So we thought, oh, they're going to take him to a federal facility then, I guess, we suppose. But
again, you're speculating. You guys are all, yeah, I understand.
I was the only one up. When everybody woke up, I was like, hey, man, they took Kegan.
You were like the newscaster for the pod.
Supposedly. And I'm like, Kegan's gone, guys. Said, oh, really? Where'd you take him? I said, I don't know, but he packed all his shit. He's gone.
Now, the big question is, did he leave? Did he owe anybody like a pack of cookies or some soups or anything like that when he left? Did he screw anybody out of commissary?
No. Heck no. No.
Okay.
Took all his commissary. He had a lot of commissary.
Right.
Yeah, like every Tuesday. Miami County does commissary every week. In Wabash County, they do it every other week. But anyway, every week he had a full bag of commissary.
Right.
Yeah, accordingly,
Well, you could tell by his interview that he wasn't missing many meals or snacks, for that matter.
No. Oh, he would buy other people's trays. Like there was a lot of hustling and exchanging there because he had the commissary.
Yeah, like trade him a Snicker bar for a whole meal tray or whatever, stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. I'll give you a soup for your certain, like, there's certain trays that he liked,
Sure.
Extra trays, and yeah, so he did a lot of that.
Well, you want to make yourself as comfortable as possible, I guess. I've seen it. You've seen it.
Yeah, and let me say something here so people understand. In in Miami County, there's a couple ways you can visit. You can visit through a video chat, and all that is a kiosk inside the block. And you punch in your number. The kiosk every day will update the visits that are scheduled. And he had, when I was there, he had a visit every day, Ruckus, every single day.
Of course. Well, he was a person of notoriety,
Yeah.
Now, who was it? Did you get to see who these visits were? Did you recognize? Now, I know that Heather used to come visit him, but was
the thing is, it's open. It's an open room, man. Yeah, you can. You go up there and you check your visit. Oh, client's got a visit again. Client's got a visit. You can tell he was being requested for a visit, and then it gives you the time. So around that time, you have to be present at the kiosk and accept your visit. And that's how I met Holly.
Okay. I called her Heather. I apologize, Holly. I called her Heather right just now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did he have any other visitors? So you knew who Holly was. Did he have any other visitors that frequent? I'm sure he had one-offs, family members, maybe media that wanted to talk to him. But was there anybody else that came on a regular basis, or at least 2-3 times?
Yeah. There's like two other different people that visited him, but I wasn't, I never met anybody. The only person I met was Holly on a video visit because Kegan allowed me,
right,
to join him on the visit and say hi to her and stand behind him while he visit with her and draw a quick sketch, which the sketch, I apologize, Holly, but that sketch, now that I look at it, it's more like a sketch. It's not a portrait, you know.
Right. Well, as Doug Carter
and-
says, it's not a photo. It's not a picture. It's a sketch.
Yeah,
You got some
exactly.
talent, though, dude. You got some talent. Now, I've got it up on the screen here. It's rotating around between some of the things that you shared with me. Just a quick question: was the video kiosk, was that in the common area?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to, because there was a podcast that said, "Oh, that's impossible," because there's an interview with Kegan and a reporter, and they're in a visiting booth.
Yeah, and you can see inmates walking around behind them.
Yeah, yeah, it's the open. It's in the open area. But when your lawyer or investigators or perhaps a reporter comes to see you, and the jail commander allows someone like that, or even a pastor, they will take you to this. They will remove you from the block and take you to a visiting room. And that's how you sit across each other and you talk through a phone. There's through a there's a glass window. And I believe that interview that he did with that lady, Barbara. You know what
Yes.
interview I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a different kind of visit, but your normal visits in the block are done through a kiosk.
Now, what about attorney visits? Was that done through the kiosk as well, or was that face to face?
No, they would take them out to the visiting booth.
Okay, so he'd have some privacy.
Yeah, like the layout of Miami, it's got the blocks, and they would come out and do rec. There's 8 blocks in Miami, so they take turns. And when you go out to the rec area, you walk down this hallway, and then you're able to see the visiting booths and the 900 block, which 900 block is administrative seg.
Okay.
And that block's got a huge window. So one day I was going to rec. There's only just a couple of us. Not everybody went to rec. Everybody just lazy, man.
Right.
So I was going to rec yard, and it's enclosed. It's not outdoor rec. They have a window, and that's it. Up in the ceiling.
Okay.
But we were walking. There was like 3 of us, and we walked right through 900 block, right by it, and we looked in the window, and there was Kegan by himself.
So they had him totally segregated.
Yes, yeah.
And when did that happen? Did that coincide with anything that you're speculating with? I mean, did it happen around the same time as the river search?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're not divulging any information here, Noé. You're not even giving me your opinion. You're asking a specific question that I'm asking you. So.
Yeah, this all has to do with jail, being in jail.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but it was parallel to the search. Yes.
Sure. Okay.
And it was also it was around the time he was getting a lot of visit requests and podcasters wanting to talk to him. And he was doing some very questionable things on his Chirp.
On his what?
On his Chirp. His texting device.
His texting device. Okay.
Texting device. Just like having a cell phone in there, but it's just texting.
Can you explain to everybody what the Chirp is and how you go about getting one? Because nobody knows what that is. I retired in 08, and we certainly didn't have any of that stuff back then.
When you check in, when you go into intake, it is optional. Okay, not everybody has a Chirp, and if you sign in for one, they will hand you a Chirp, and it's only for texting, no images. You cannot get on the internet. You cannot search anything, and the only way it works is if your people, your relatives, or wives or whatever, you send them a Chirp request. You know, they allow you to send 5 Chirp requests a day. Every 24 hours, you can send 5 Chirp requests out to people that you know. And then if they accept your Chirp request, what they do is they load the account with $10, $20, whatever it is, 50, whatever. And then the Chirp adds time to the account, and you're able to communicate via text. Each text is 10 cents, and it allows 60 characters. And so if you $5, that'd be 50 Chirps, 50 texts.
And that comes out of your commissary pool, your commissary money?
No, it comes out from the communication account. That's two different accounts. It's okay. Inmate funds is for commissary, and then your communication fund is separate.
Okay, so you can specifically put in communication money. So if you're a family member, say, and you wanted them to,
and that applies for the phone on the wall, because they still have phones, like kind of like a public phone.
Sure.
You don't see those anymore, but they have them there. They have 2 of those, and those the phones and the Chirp account is one separate account, and your family can load money onto your account, and you can either use phone to talk to people or text. Only text.
Now, let me ask you something. They had that device in their cell. They could do it whenever they wanted, basically.
Yeah. They pick them up every night to recharge them. Okay. But if your Chirp doesn't need recharge, you can keep it all night.
All right. Now, let me ask you this, and I'm not a devious person, but I've been in the business, so I know how shit works. Did they ever barter with those Chirps? Could you say, hey, man, I'll let you chirp for some soups? Stuff like that?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I think those Chirps are kind of dangerous, man. I mean, I've seen a dude there in Miami who was a former gang member, affiliated, order things.
Oh, really? Okay.
Order. Yeah, information and like
hits and stuff like that.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, I used to say there's only one thing they can't do in a prison, and that's rob banks. And that's only because there's no bank on the compound. Otherwise, it'd be robbing banks. They can do everything else that they can do on the outside. Drugs, women, you name it, alcohol. Now, you mentioned that he was either suspected of or doing some shady stuff with the Chirps. Can you elaborate on that?
Right. A little bit, yeah. This has nothing to do with the investigation.
Sure.
He was. I mean, I saw him do this. Okay, so
okay,
it was sexting and requesting money.
Okay, so he was sexting and asking strangers for money.
What's it called? Text, whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but it wasn't random. I mean, he didn't make up numbers. These are people that he already had their information, right?
Yeah, he had a bunch of requests, and
I get you. Okay, so you could call, you could send in a thing and request that he contact you, and they would pass that information on to the inmate.
It also works the other way, like if I'm out here and I get his Chirp number, I can put money on his account.
Right.
He don't have to request. He doesn't have to request me to invite me to fund his Chirp. If I have his Chirp number, like if you had Kegan's Chirp number, you can throw in $20 and start talking to him.
Right.
It's that simple.
Now, when you say he was sexting, what do you mean by that? Because you said you saw it. You actually saw him sending sexually graphic texts.
Yeah, I was standing by his door. I had created this little bean bag to throw around and stuff. And I was standing by his door because we were going to have a tournament of this little game that I created in there, throwing the beanbag back and forth and making it land on the table. So we were having a tournament, and we were, the pot was coffee, right? So I was collecting coffee from all the cells.
Oh, okay. For the wager.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so you're playing cornhole for coffee.
It was partners. Yeah, it was partners. And so I was collecting coffee, and I came up to his door, and he was hanging out with a couple people in there. He had like 2 or 3 people in there, and he goes, "Oh, this so and so just put $20 on my Chirp account."
I got you.
All she wants is for me to do texting with. And then also a guy requested him for $40 for sex texting. And oh yeah, he told me there was another one. This is crazy, man. But this was
Nothing's crazy to me, dude. There's nothing you can say that's going to surprise you.
A married lady who, according to him, supposedly, they wanted to sex text him while she was.
she actually wanted to?
Yeah, while she was doing certain things, man. Yeah.
Ew.
It was crazy. When I saw that, and he, and he would show the text, and I was like, wow, dude, that's crazy, man. So he was hustling. I was like,
yeah. Hey, good for him, though.
Hustle, dude. Yeah, man, no wonder he got all this shit, right?
Yeah, he had some game.
Yeah. Me, I made my money drawing cartoons or drawing portraits or drawing cards. Beating everybody in chess. Ain't nobody gonna beat me in chess in there. Things like that, and I was fine.
It cracks me up that he had a hustle, though.
His hustle was little. He was making more money than I was, man.
That's beautiful.
It's true, man. I got no reason to make up stories. Yeah. I mean,
I don't think you're making it up. That's what makes it beautiful, man. I think that's funny as hell.
Yeah, okay, but when it got to that point, Ruckus, I was like a little concerned. I was like, man, this dude is really sick, right? And I'm not just gonna be ignorant about it, but Kegan had something happened with Kegan. I'm comfortable to say this because I've discussed this with the person who just texted you.
Okay.
He had something happened to Kegan when he was a child, and he didn't get the help, man. And those fantasies and those perversions, just overtook the desires. Yeah.
I mean, that happens. That's not a big secret with people. It's pretty common. It's sad. You hate to hear it, but I'm not judging him because of that.
Yeah, but the one thing that we need to be aware of is that he made the choices to not get help, man.
Yeah.
And then once
but the old he without sin cast the first stone type thing,
Yeah, and now by that desire just became part of him, and it was probably became normal to him.
Yeah, in your opinion, though, right? I just don't want you to slip up and have anybody yelling at you, dude. I really don't care. You know me, sky's the limit. But I don't.
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying. Like, people have issues with different, like I had a drug issue.
Sure.
I was good at sports. I was a journalist. Um,
Musician.
I was sure, but my desires was alcohol and drugs, man. And I've lost my license. I've lost my ability to work in the school systems. I've lost family relationships and friends and everything because, that desire was more important.
But you know what you haven't lost, honestly, and I can tell this, is your humility. You're a really good guy, and you've turned things around. And I'm proud of you, man. I'm happy for you. That's really good.
I started my sobriety process started back in 2006. My substance of choice then was marijuana and alcohol. I quit marijuana in 2006. I haven't smoked marijuana since then, but I became a hardcore alcoholic. and then I quit drinking in 2016.
So you just switched vices.
And then I switched to the meth, right? In 2018, I got addicted to meth. I was working. I already had issues with. I had issue with alcohol. I had legal issues. So I went through a program and I quit alcohol. And when I completed that program, I was scot-free, right? And I got introduced to the meth in 18, and within 9 months, I had more legal issues again.
Sure.
So here I am. Yeah. I quit in 2019, and I relapsed in 2022.
Well, I hope you stay sober this time. I really do, because you're a good dude. Now, are you keeping track of the time? I don't want you to be late for work. It's almost 9. I don't want you to go. I'm not trying to kick you off the phone. I just don't want you to be late.
I'll tell you when.
Okay. And also, too, just let me interject real quick with this. If you're comfortable with talking about things, then by all means talk about them. But if you're not and you want to check, we can always do a follow-up call, dude. I'll do as many as you want. I wish you would get your own channel because you're really interesting and you're talented. So, I would certainly help you do something like that as well. But you're free. You're more than welcome to come back and talk all you want. If you want to check things out, I don't want to piss anybody off. I personally, and this is just my personal opinion, nobody's going to tell me what anybody can say on my podcast. It's up to the guests. So I just don't want you to. I don't want you to get jammed up. I know relationships are important to you as well, and you don't want to ruin any of those. All right, carry on. I just wanted to let you know what time it was and let you know that you are welcome to come back. So
we can go a few more minutes.
Okay, have at it.
Well, I can't remember where we left off. We were doing the cornhole or table hole tournament. So yeah, that's around that time we walked. They had taken Kegan, and then a couple of us guys went to rec. And we walked by and we turned out that Kegan was in 900 block by himself, segregated. So then a whole new wave of speculation comes around. And but yeah, they had segregated him and taken his Chirp privilege. And it had to do with that. But I don't remember exactly. I think it might have been a podcast or something. I heard that he was back on chirping.
Texting.
But I'm texting, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if they lifted up his privileges and gave him back. Yeah. Yeah, because they took his commissary. And his.
Dude, that hurts. When they take your commissary and TV privileges, that hurts.
I remember I remember a guard saying that his lawyer had requested that they segregated him and that they took his communication.
Yeah, that's standard practice too. I mean, that's smart lawyering, to be honest with you. That's what they should do.
Yeah, there was just too much crap going out,
Right.
It was being too public and everything. I was locked. Okay, and here's the thing that I had never seen any podcasts before June of 22.
Oh, you've been missing a lot.
I wasn't aware of the dynamics of this.
It's crazy.
And when I got out, that's why it was very questionable when I reached out to the Unsolved and people criticized that and saying, why didn't I go to law enforcement? Well, I mean, I didn't understand how.
Yeah, it was luck of the draw. It was luck of the draw. If you had reached out to me instead of him, been a whole different circumstance, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? You didn't know who I was. You didn't know who he was.
But I have nothing negative to say about the Unsolved.
Yeah, me either.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to say, and we had a 3-hour conversation like at 2 a.m., man.
Yeah.
So,
but he's a journalist, you know, that's the difference.
He did his best, but he got a couple things mixed up with like facts and speculation. But
and people unfairly gave him a bunch of shit as well. I remember that vividly. Right. Yeah.
But one of them was Honey Justice. Yeah, she made like 2 or 3 very long videos about it, and then she just dismissed the whole thing and called it a circus or whatever. And
that's some funny shit, isn't it? This whole thing is a circus, to be honest with you.
I called her. I was checking out her channel, and like a week ago or so or 2, and she had a phone number down there. So I called the number.
How'd that go?
Oh, she hung up on her buddy Connor. He hung up on me as soon as I said, I go on to speak, right? I say, I have 3 questions for Sonny. And she goes, that's no. And
no comprende. Click. Oh, that's funny.
So I had enough time to put in my first question, right? And the thing that I have with that channel is that, I mean, like you say, you can do whatever you want on your channel, but the thing is that they were misinforming people, their viewers, about a lot of things. You know, like saying that Holly and I and Kegan were cons and we were just trying to make money.
Right.
You know?
But, you know, you can't control what people say or do. You know that. You can only control how you react to it. And I'm here to tell you, dude, you're a good guy. I don't see anything that says con or deception or anything like that. I mean, you and I'm sure everybody in the chat agrees.
I'm in the process of changing my life.
Well, you're doing a good job, dude. You're doing a really good job.
20 years ago, it was different. And somebody had a comment. It said, after a video that I did with Cram to Sleep, there was a comment this person said, coach, former teacher, drugs.
Yeah.
Something wrong here. And yes, I agree. Something was wrong, man. I mean,
yep.
Something was wrong, and the only thing I can do is, look, man, it doesn't concern me the impression that I leave.
And it shouldn't. Yeah, I agree.
What concerns me is the impression that I leave now.
Yep.
To others. And, you know, because, you know, the things I did in the past, I was heavily into addiction. And I didn't do any crazy stuff like needles and stuff. I just, you know, I smoked pot and did coke and drank a lot of damn beer.
Dude, I snorted up half of Peru in the 80s before I went in the Air Force. Yeah.
When I was able to overcome alcohol and pot, I haven't smoked pot since 2006.
Now, see, everybody in the chat is saying, dude, trade all that shit in for weed. You know, everybody's leaning you towards some good solid advice for my subscribers. You know, smoke weed, dude. That's the advice you get on my channel.
I just don't see myself becoming a pothead at this point in my life, man.
Yeah.
I already went through it. It was fun, whatever. But no, no. But my worst mistake was like trying the meth thing, you know, and meth really changed me. It was 9 months of, I mean, it was crazy.
Dude, you start bumping that stem, and the next thing you know, you're out there tricking for chicken out front of Popeyes. That stuff's no good for nobody.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to go that route anymore. I didn't do crazy stuff like that, but like my family and work relationships and stuff. I mean, I was out there, man, because I was just.
Well, you have a lot of worth, dude. And to be quite honest with you, I mean, anyone, you said there was 13, 14 guys in that pod. Any one of them could have reached out. Any one of them. But they didn't. You did, because you care and because you're interesting. I mean, one of those other guys might have been a knucklehead, and I would only talk to him for about 3 seconds and hang up on him, you know?
Here's another thing. Here's another thing that I did not ask for anything. You know, I did not ask anybody to tweak my sentence in exchange for information, you know, and I did not have any type of case that would require me to do that. You know, a level 6 felony for a narcotic possession charge in Indiana carries 1.5 years.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
you could do that standing on your head, to be honest with you. I mean, by the time you get game time and all that shit, you're out in 3 months.
Yeah. And then to me, I mean, you know, I informed law enforcement what I thought would be crucial if they want to take it and use it. But snitching is a little different. Okay.
Snitches get stitches, brother.
If you and I commit a crime, okay, and then we both get caught,
I would snitch on you quick.
And then I say, well, he's the one who did this. That's snitching. Yeah. That is snitching, okay?
Absolutely.
All right? Now, informing is a little different.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, being a CI and being a snitch is two different things.
Being a CI, exactly. And
yeah.
It's a different.
CIs keep telling. They keep on telling.
I'm not saying that in the prison system, neither one is accepted.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right.
But they have their whole fucked up social system about what's accepted and what's not. You've seen it. Exactly. You know it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. But you know, some things are accepted, some things are not.
Yeah, those are things that, you know, I made conscious decisions to do what I did. You know.
Sure.
I did not make the decision because I wanted a time cut. There's no time cut, man. I'm on supervised probation for the next 1.5 years over under $30 of possession of meth.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what kind of deal are you gonna give me? There's none of that.
Yeah, none.
There's none of anything. Me conspiring with Holly and Kegan. None of that. They're they're on that channel with Sonny Justice. They said that about the wristband, that I wanted to sell it.
Right.
I mean, what happened there is that this other inmate, Bryce Dylan, told on me. Bryce Dylan was my cellmate, and he was Kegan's best buddy there.
Right.
inseparable, man. So one day he come in. That's how I got the idea about the wristband. Okay, one night we were on lockdown, and Bryce came in and said, "Hey, look what I got from Kegan." He had the pictures of his discovery, and I said, "What do you want those for?" And he said, "I'm going to sell them."
Right.
And I was, and shit, dude, I mean, he's hustling with Kegan's discovery, right? Well, I said, well, if I can take something from Kegan, then I can say I was locked up with him.
Sure.
And if I get some info out of him, they might believe me, right?
Give you time off your sentence.
On the bracelet.
Right.
Through the office. Yeah.
I got you.
And okay, I made the mistake. One after I had the bracelet, Kegan agreed to give me the bracelet for a drawing. I made the mistake of coming in the cell at lockdown at 9 o'clock and say, "Hey, Bryce, look what I got." I bracelet, right? And
so now you're bragging. You're throwing it in his face. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my mistake. So I left it at that, and I put it in with my legal stuff, my folder. Man, within hours, I had a sergeant and two COs
shaking you down.
Yeah. Hey, come here. Man. And I said, "What's up?" He said, "Well, they charged me with stealing possession of contraband. I think it was 2 charges. I don't know. It's on the disciplinary action." Yeah, they charged me and gave me a disciplinary case, and they found me guilty, and they took the wristband. So at this time, Kegan was already in seg by himself, right? So I kept thinking, man, damn Kegan, man, he snitched on me. The whole time.
You thought it was Kegan the whole time.
Yeah. So I go to seg for 10 days, and when I come back from seg to the PC to 600 block, Bryce Dylan is gone. He was no longer my cellmate.
Oh, the plot thickens. The plot thickens.
Yeah, when I walk in there, back to, hey, you're back, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's telling me, "Hey, man, it was Bryce Dylan. He told on you." And that made more sense to me because he I hate to say it, but I mean, we used to call him the boyfriend.
Right.
Kegan's boyfriend. Those two, I mean, I seen them like give each other back rubs, and the weirdest thing I saw between those two, and I mean, I never saw anything sexual. I'm not gonna, make up shit that didn't happen. But the weirdest thing that I saw, you remember I told you that I was going around collecting coffee for a cornhole tournament?
Yeah, for the wager pot.
Yeah. I walked through the door one time, and I saw Bryce Dylan pulling a freaking pubic hair off of Kegan's neck. And I walked into that, man, and I was that kind of stuff, I mean, I'm not going to say I never saw any sexual stuff, but they, and then...
Time out. How do you know it was a pubic hair?
Because when he pulled it, Kegan went, "Ow, bitch!"
Then that's not a pubic hair on his neck.
Well, I'm sorry. It was this long ass hair that was sticking out of his neck.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for correcting me. I'm sorry. My bad. It wasn't under his arm or private. It was his neck. He had this long ass hair that was sticking out, and Bryce was like, "Hey, Kegan, hold still."
He's grooming him.
Pulled it. I thought that was odd.
Yeah, it is odd. You were correct in thinking that. That's odd.
Yeah, and Kegan went, "Oh, bitch." And dude,
ew. That's all I can say about that. Jeez Louise.
When they talk to each other, they literally talk like that. Like bitch, come here, bitch. And we all like that. So we called him the boyfriend, right?
Sure.
So when I came back from Sig, it made more sense to me that Bryce had put me out.
That's right. Well, he was jealous.
Yeah.
Because see, when I worked in, we call them, if you had a man that you were close to like that, we considered both of them punks. Now, whoever was the female leaned towards the female side, that was the sissy. So they were both punks. One of them was the sissy. Which one do you think was the sissy? If you had to guess.
Damn, Ruckus.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. Don't answer that. Oh, I'm getting a little giddy. My questions are getting off topic.
It was just odd behavior there. And
Okay.
so they were always together, but yeah, I don't know. It was weird. And then when Bryce would hang out with others, he act like normal, I guess.
Yeah.
Like tough.
Right. Yeah.
But
tough in the PC pod, right? They're tough in the protective custody pod.
Yeah. He had the exact same charge as Kegan. Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had pictures on his phone.
Now they're just charges.
He was my cellmate. He told me that him and his girlfriend had consensual sex with another girl and recorded it. Well, it turned out to be that girl was a minor.
Right.
And that's how he got busted. So so that behavior with Kegan was kind of weird, man. It's odd.
Yeah, well, I mean, at first it must have been. To me, it's funny. It's like bringing back memories. To me, it's not even odd. I'm used to that kind of behavior. And you would, the more time you spend around that kind of stuff, the more normal it almost becomes. Because, like I said, they have their own little fucked up morals in society and what's accepted and what's not. That's too funny, dude. You made my day. That cracked me up. That was beautiful.
I think I'm gonna wrap up.
Okay.
I got 30 minutes to. All I really got to do is load my work back in my car and head out there.
Okay.
We can go 10 more minutes.
Sure.
And wrap up. You want to kind of take a different directions towards wrapping up the conversation.
Sure. Let me see if anybody in the chat has any questions for you.
There we go.
Yeah, and I'll weed through them. Does anybody have any questions for Noé? Hey, Sleuth, what's up? Dude, that was funny, Noé. Good Lord. You hit me right in the right spot today. That cracked me up. I could picture it. Let me scroll up because I know there was questions before, but I hate interrupting.
Yeah, I'll stick around till 9:30 and head to work at 9:30.
Okay. Now, let me see if there's any questions that I had while I'm looking for anybody else's. Usually Sleuth has a question or two. Sleuth, you got anything you want to ask, brother? Or Kev, anybody, to be honest with you. All right, did Kegan ever brag about previous crimes to you?
No, what he did, he told me he was a star football player. He bragged about that.
Okay. Kegan was or Tony?
Kegan.
Okay, so he was
a star football player for North Miami High School, which is just north of, I suppose if you live in Mexico, Indiana, you would go to North Miami High School. If you live in Peru, you would go to or Peru High School.
Okay. And what about the day that Kegan ate of other inmates' hot dogs at lunch and was still hungry? Do you remember that?
No, I
Okay.
don't remember that.
That was from
But
Lilith.
I do know that he was always eating.
Yeah, well, that's obvious. I mean, his shadow's got to weigh 6 pounds. He's a big boy.
His favorite was eating sour
cream and onion chips.
And onion chips, yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Man after my own heart. I like that myself. Did he brag about being a musician at all?
No, he didn't brag about that. No. You see, I never hear that story till after I got out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, the most that we ever talked about music was when I mentioned that I played acoustic music guitar, and and he told me that Holly had a coffee shop, and that they did open mic at her coffee shop, and that was the reason why I was going to contact Holly when I got out.
Right.
And I was able to obtain her phone number. But that's music. That's the only thing we talked about in terms of music.
Okay. Did he ever mention Garrett Kurtz? I don't even know if you know who that is. But did he ever mention anybody like that?
I don't know him.
Okay.
But I know who he is.
Did Keegan ever mention him, or Kegan? I keep fucking his name.
Did not.
Okay. And like I said, Noé, if you want to, I'd love to. We really didn't get in deep. All we did today was set the table. And if you wanted to come back, that's fine. I just don't want you to have any animosity with Holly or anybody else. I know you're not going to have any with law enforcement. I can guarantee you that. I would never run you down that path. But if you wanted to come back, and get a little deeper, I'm fine with that. Like I said, I wouldn't lead you down the path. I know people are interested. I know they are. So, I would love to have you back. We could talk for hours. You and I just hit it off. We can talk about anything.
Well, I reached out to you, Ruckus, because when I saw I had seen your name on comments, but I never paid attention. But the first time I paid attention was you were having an exchange with Rick Snade.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. I've only had a few with him.
Well, this was I don't know if it was recent. It was within like a month ago or less. And I can't remember exactly what was going on. I think he was talking about Ron Logan. But anyway, and then I saw a show by Frank and Marv, and I saw the whole show that time, and when I heard what you had to say on that show, I was like, and you and I already had this conversation in private, right?
Yeah.
I was like, that's the kind of people I need to talk to, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're just making sense of facts.
Well, you know why? Because I'm smart. I'm pretty smart.
Because you know how things go, and you got law enforcement background.
Right. Exactly. So, I know the process. I know what's going on. When they're pulling people, I know who's snitching, who's not, who's a CI, who's just rolling. I know how they handle those kind of people. So to me, it's not rocket science. But other people, I could see they'd miss it. I'd miss things that are not in my career field that I'm not familiar with, But, you could look at somebody playing the guitar and say, oh, they're playing a D chord, whereas someone that doesn't know anything about guitar, they wouldn't know that. It's that type of thing.
Right. Yeah. And and that's exactly when I saw you playing the guitar, I said, he's playing the D chord.
See,
I better get a hold of him. And I didn't know how. I figured I think I did the only way I knew how was by commenting on your podcast or on Marv's.
Yeah, I saw that right away. Yeah.
I went to your channel and I commented on one of your videos, and I even put my phone number out there.
You did, yeah. You came into my Discord.
Call me, and then I reached out to Deb. I talked to Deb from True Crime
Right.
Notebook, Deb's Crime Notebook. I do talk to her. I chat with her. We talk about church and soccer and stuff. We really don't talk about the case. I like talking to Deb.
Right.
And I said, hey, Deb, do you know Ruckus? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, can you put me in contact with him? And she was like, why? And I said, I don't know.
She said, why?
I want to talk to that guy. And he's had surgery, so probably not a good time. I said, okay. And then you call me back, before I knew it, I seen an invite. It was an invite to join to the Discord.
Right.
And that's how we started talking. Yeah.
Now, for you guys in chat, Noe's a member of my Discord. And if you want, Noe, I'll make you a tab. And if anybody wants to join Discord and if they have any questions or want to speak with you or whatever, they can just put it in that tab. If you want, I'm here to tell you that it'll be busy. You can answer what you want, though. You don't have to answer anything if you don't want. But if you'd like that, I'd certainly do it for you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll answer stuff that has to do with the jail.
Yeah.
If anybody asks
we can just leave it like this. I can be your go-between for you, dude. We can leave it like this. That's fine. They can ask me in Discord, and I'll get with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine, too.
Okay.
But,
I just didn't want you to be overwhelmed, buddy. It gets bad. It gets bad.
Mm-hmm.
Busy, not bad, but, you get a lot of questions.
I get busy.
Yeah.
Look, I have on Facebook and TikTok and stuff like that, and I have probably like 200 friends. I probably interact with like 30, and that's busy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, dude, I understand.
Social media, traffic, but I mean, we can leave it the way it is, or if you want, but I'll answer questions like the ones they asked me just a minute ago. Yeah, but you're going to turn me off if you ask me, what did you talk to law enforcement or what did Kegan tell you? Yeah, then I would not just bother with it.
Well, of course, people want to know that, so they're going to ask. But, I'll help you with that, dude. I can help deflect that kind of stuff, You and I are okay, so.
The thing is, Ruckus, that there's two young girls.
Amen.
Eyes are gone, man. And if there's anything that my interviews help law enforcement.
Thank you for saying that.
In any way that there's absolutely no way that I would try to interrupt their process. This little girls, man, they could have been in school now, college, and more than anything, it's about them, and that's why I
agree.
chose that position that I'm not gonna mess around with any of the questions that have to do with investigation or conversations with Kegan about that, and I'm gonna stick to that. I do want this case solved. That soccer jersey that Libby's wearing, I get flashbacks all the time. They're like, I've coached hundreds of kids. I coached for almost 9 years around here in Indiana, and I picture my former soccer players that were her age, man, and that's what it's about, man.
Right. Do you have time for one more question, Noe? And this is up to you.
I got a minute. Yeah. I'll do one more question.
Okay. I read it and I was trying to think of a way to put it, but I'm just gonna read to you exactly what he wrote, and you can take it from there. This is from Sleuth. He's not sketchy at all. He's like I am. He's right up front. So, was Kegan always willing to talk openly about his role in the Delphi case, or did it seem as if he woke up one day and was working with Ellie and felt comfortable speaking about it? Now, without going into details, if you want to answer that one, go ahead.
Yeah, I understand his question. It didn't happen one day. Kegan had been sharing. When I got there, everybody had info on it. And every time that he was taken out for interviews and come back, the first thing he'd do was reach out to Dylan and start talking
Bryce,
about what
his boyfriend.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so when I had my time with one-on-one with him in the mornings, I asked my questions.
Sure.
He as far like the best way to answer the sleuth is he had been talking about it. When I got there early July, there's already information out that had been coming out of him.
Directly from Kegan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, the thing is, here's the big thing is that we don't know if it's true or not. Because sometimes law enforcement will take you out and they'll tell you when you go back in, you got to tell them this, or say that.
Right.
So when I had one-on-one interactions with him, I try to pick the things that were like credible, like things that made sense to me, that this makes sense, that doesn't make sense. And right. You know what I'm talking about? You can tell body language and everything else. You know, you can tell when someone is being...
Yep. Well, you're sitting there right with him, so you're looking at nonverbal communication and all that stuff. So,
yeah. Like I know that one time he has said something to me, and when I looked at him, I saw a look in his eye of like guilt and worried. He was worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah. So yeah, it was that was a constant thing. I walked into a constant thing that he was already talking to inmates in there.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not one day, or because of the cornhole game, or because of the, you know, the art or anything. No, he was already talking. So I just kind of like, you know,
I've actually reached out to Bryce Dylan, but I'm sure he's going to tell me to go outside and play hide and go fuck myself. But still, I just wanted to reach out to him and, see if he had anything to say. But if he does, great. If he doesn't, great. You know, I'm not going to mention you. I didn't get his information from you, to be honest with you. I had his information long before I met you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
If you guys have any further questions for Noé or anything, jump in my Discord and shoot me a DM or whatever. Noé's in there if you want to shoot him a DM until he's tired of it. Then he can shut down his DMs. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Noé, it's great talking to you as always, dude. I enjoy talking to you. And I really appreciate you reaching out past couple days, checking on me, see how my shoulder's doing. It means a lot.
Absolutely, Ruckus. I reached out to you, and I knew that you and I were gonna, you know, have interesting conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
thank you very much. And you know, we'll keep in touch and take it somewhere else if we have to. I mean, I'm willing to do another one or just through the Discord.
Okay.
Answer some. All right.
All right. No, you have a good day. Don't work too hard, man.
You too.
All right. See you.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Noé, Kegan's jailmate, not his cellmate. He was in the same block. So just gives you a little insight. Okay. You know, my intention was never to get any hardcore information out of him. It's just not the proper thing to do. But did get some good insight, and you guys are not dumb. You can put two and two together. on some of the things that he said, and you can probably surmise, what was happening. So, thanks for joining me. I had to do it this early because Noé has a 9-to-5 job, and then he does things in the afternoon that he's obligated to do. So, don't take any wooden nickels, guys. And I'll see you around. If I got something else coming up, I reached out to Bryce Dylan, the other, his boyfriend / quote unquote. So we'll see if he gets back with me. All right. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. My name is Ruckus, and I am 10-7. You guys have a good day. Talk to you soon.